Good morning, it's April 8th. What's going on? Well, hey, I've got my tie on because baseball season's underway. Don't sing, Mark. The Chicago Cubs, at the time of the recording here, are doing very, very well. 19 innings in a row without allowing a run until the other night. The White Sox? Oh well, the White Sox. I'm a Chicago fan, so I really do wish both teams well. March Madness is now April, and we're at the Final Four, and everybody's talking about this Caitlin Clark. Female basketball, she's playing for Iowa. Tremendous basketball player. And there are men too, I guess. And last week, the Fed announced that it's not going to lower interest rates, and the stock market responded with a... Anyway, let's get to today's topic. Bum, ba bum, bump. Bum, ba bum, bum, bum. They're appearing on TV. They're appearing on the radio. They call you all times of the day and night, seems like. It's today's version of the 1980s snake oil salespeople. So why do you call them snake oil salespeople? Well, if you remember back in the 1980s, these people would come up in their wagons and they have this elixir or whatever that they would sell, and it would cure everything from gout to cancer, and it made a great job to paint your barn with or something. Well, that's kind of like what's going on with these telemarketers. And they're telemarketing everything from car warranties to home warranties to solar panels to, in my area, final expense insurance policies and Medicare Advantage plans. And the reason I say that they're snake oil is because, especially with those Medicare Advantage plans, they're selling this product and they're going to provide you with dental, vision, hearing, meals, transportation, health clubs, and this is where you can tell if it's an old recording or not. If they say it'll give you back $140, the real figure would be about $174.70. So they're selling a very, very specific product to encompass everything. And as I call it, these plans are like the pie in the sky. Oh, and by the way, all those benefits they're talking about, they actually do exist. But they're selling very specific stuff and they're not using appropriate sales procedure. And one reason I said they're not using appropriate sales procedure is that anytime we take continuing education, proper sales procedures should follow 4 basic steps here. Very, very basic steps. 1, they should do a fact find. They should talk to you, find out about you. 2, they should do a needs analysis. Why am I selling a Medicare Advantage plan on all these benefits to somebody who's 55 years old? Do they need it or not? Good question, because all they care about is that you buy. The other thing is, once this is done, then sales procedure should say there should be an appropriate product recommendation. What they do is they go directly past steps 1 and 2 to the product recommendation, and then they completely avoid the last step, which is product understanding. We have to make sure you understand what you bought and you understand how that policy works. You know, today we're talking a lot about artificial intelligence, and a lot of these guys are calling you, and you can appear on your caller ID. We did have one day where Muhammad Ali was on my caller ID, and I answered the phone, and after the guy went through his whole spiel, I think I mentioned this in a video a few weeks ago. After he went through his whole spiel, I said, Muhammad Ali appeared on my phone. And his comment was, well, if we don't put something like that in, you're not going to answer the phone. Well, he was right. I answered the phone because it said Muhammad Ali. However, here's the bigger issue. Things like that are not true. It wasn't Muhammad Ali. And we at the MLD agency, we've experienced where some of you have called us up saying, you called me. No, I didn't call you. Well, your name is appearing on my caller ID, and you're calling me because after they sold you a very specific policy without, finding out about you, without getting a needs analysis done, and not giving you product understanding other than 0 premium, 0 copay, you're calling and asking me questions about the policy that you bought, and I didn't sell it to you. I can't help you with stuff like that. Hey, Mark, so when we're talking, how do we know it's you? Well, one, I'm going to follow this sales approach here. I'm going to want to get to know you, talk about a lot of things. And sometimes people say I talk too much, and they're probably not wrong. And then I'm going to try to find out what needs you have. And once I do that, I'm going to try to give you a good recommendation on a product that's going to fit your specific needs. And at that point, you might say, well, I'm thinking about this or that. And there's some give and take on that aspect there. So it's not always a specific product that's being sold to you. And then once you sign on the dotted line and all, we're going to make sure you understand the policy you have. One thing we're also going to do for you is we're going to give you a magnetic business card. So you can stick that on your refrigerator, on your file cabinet, on wherever you want, so that way you know how to get a hold of me. I usually text people my contact information to put into their phone, so you know how to get a hold of me. And because I do this the right way, a lot of you out there have been referring people, there's my number down here, back to us, of which case we're now paying a $25 finder's fee to you for that. The reason you're doing that is because we've done it the right way and you can trust what we've done for you. This is how we operate at the MLD agency. We're not that snake oil people who call you on the phone, who advertise on TV trying to sell you a specific policy where you don't really know what you've got other than zero premium, zero copay. That's not how we operate here. So, hey Mark, what's going on at the MLD agency? Well, the past couple of weeks have been very, very busy, which is one reason why it's been hard to get these videos done. But we've been able to help people transition from their under 65 insurance to their Medicare insurance. We've been able to help people transition from one insurance policy or company to another insurance policy. So we have found ourselves very busy. It also required some additional certification to being done during the agency, and that took a good couple of days to get that taken care of. That's just the normal course of business and all. So yeah, I guess life here at the MLD agency is doing pretty good. I hope life is good with you. Until next week, when we'll talk about what is a fact-finding appointment, and then the week after we'll talk about what is a needs analysis appointment. So until then, take care.